Hello, welcome to Chapter 3.2, Part 1, Understanding Multiplication. Multiplication as groups of objects and arrays. Multiplication can be modeled as groupings of objects. For example, 2 times 5 can be illustrated as 2 groups of 5 objects each. So here we have 2 groups, and each of these groups has 5 objects. So 2 rows of 5 squares equals an area of 10. In example 1, we're asked, what is 21 times 13 using blocks? So we're going to set up a table, and we begin by counting out 21 across. So that means we have 2 rods and 1 unit. And then 13 down. That means we have 1 rod and 3 units. We can do it the reverse. We can put the 13 here and the 21 here. It doesn't really matter. Either way, the result is the same. Now what we want to do is we want to fill in this area. And that's the idea of doing this. You must fill in the area. So let's do it. Well, we can fill in this area here with 1 flat, 2 flats. Now we can fill in this little area here with a rod, and we can fill in the area here with 2 rods, and this area with 2 rods, and this area with 2 rods, and then we have a little area here we must fill in, and we can fill that in with 3 units. Now we want to count how many we have in the area that we just filled. Well, each of these flats is worth 100, and we have 2 of them. So that's 2 times 100. Each of these rods is worth 10, and it turns out we have 7 of them. So it's 7 times 10, and then each unit is worth 1. So we have 3 times 1, and when we add this all together, 200 plus 70 plus 3, we get 273. In example number 2, we're asked to show 24 times 15 using the area method and base 10 blocks. So we set up our table, and here we have 24 on top, 1 rod, 2 rod, and 4 units, and then 15 on the side, 1 rod, and 5 units. And now I will start to fill this in. So I'll fill in the area with 2 flats. And then I will fill in the rods here, and rods here, and then everything left over I fill in with units until I have a perfectly filled rectangle. And then I count the blocks, and I see I have 2 flats, and each flat is worth 100 units. And then I have 14 rods, and each rod is worth 10 units, and then I have 20 units. So I add them all up. 2 times 100 is 200. 14 times 10 is 140, plus 20, and I get 360 as my final answer. In example number 3, we're asked, what is 24 times 15 using partial products? And explain where each partial product can be found in the area method with base 10 blocks. This multiplication can be written vertically or horizontally. I will first do it vertically. 20 plus 4 is from 24. here's the tens place, here's the ones place, times 10 plus 5 from the 15, the tens place and the ones place. I multiply 20 times 5 to get 100, and then I multiply 4 times 5 to get 20. Then I multiply 20 times 10 to get 200, and then I multiply 4 times 10 to get 40. Then I end up with 200, and that would represent the flats. I add these two up, 140, I get 140, and that would represent the rods. And then lastly, I have the 20 here, and that would be the final 20 units. And then I add them all up, and I get the 360 as before. We could also do this horizontally. Similarly, we would end up using the FOIL method, and we have the 200 to represent the flats, the 140 to represent the rods, and the 20 to represent the units. And lastly, we could use the box method. And here again, we have the 200 to represent the flats. Adding these two together would represent the rods, and then finally the units, and that too would give us 360. In example number 4, we're asked what is 31 times 14 using blocks. So I make my table, and I'll put 3 rods and 1 unit to represent 31. And then I will put 1 rod and 4 units to represent 14. Now I will fill in the area. And here I have 1, 2, 3 flats that I could fill it in with. And I'll fill in here with a rod. And then I'll fill in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 rods here, and in what's left over here only fits 4 units. Now I will count the blocks, and this implies we have 3 times 100 plus 13 times 10, which represents the 13 rods, and 4 times 1, which represents the 4 units, so we end up with 434. Example number 5 asks us, what is 31 times 14 using partial products? Vertically, 31 times 14, 10 times 30, gives me 300, 10 times 1 gives me 10, 4 times 30 gives me 120, 4 times 1 gives me 4. I add all these up and I get 434. Horizontally, 30 plus 1 from 31, 10 plus 4 from 14, 30 times 10, 30 times 4, 1 times 10, 1 times 4, 30 times 10 is 300, 30 times 4 is 120, 1 times 10 is 10, 1 times 4 is 4, and again I get 340. Finally, the box method, 30 plus 1, 10 plus 4, construct the box, and then add what's inside the box up, 300 plus 10 plus 120 plus 4, again we get 434. Thank you very much. I hope that you enjoyed this video. Be well, take care, and goodbye for now.